You ever get that feeling when you're driving, you press the gas, and the car just, wow, it feels sluggish.
Oh, yeah, like it's hesitating or just not giving you that crisp response you expect.
Exactly, that lazy pedal feel. It's super frustrating. And honestly, my first thought is usually, gotta call the mechanic.
Right, straight to the worst case scenario.
But hold on, today in the deep dive, we're gonna cut through some of that worry. We're looking at a really common cause for that lazy pedal, the throttle position sensor, or TPS.
And how it talks to the throttle body, which is basically the valve controlling air into your engine. Super important for power.
Totally. And we've got 3 pretty straightforward methods you can actually try yourself to reset that TPS. Could save you some cash, you know.
Definitely worth a shot before heading to the shop.
So looking at the data we've gathered for this, we're not just going to list steps. We want to pull out the key info, give you some pro tips, point out mistakes people make.
And crucially, know when it is time to actually make that call to a pro.
Exactly. Our mission today, give you practical things to try, starting easy, and then moving up to the heavy hitter that often sorts things out.
Get you some quick, solid knowledge without making your head spin.
You got it. You'll hopefully walk away feeling a bit more confident about what's happening under the hood. Shall we dive in?
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, the basic key-on reset. This sounds like the perfect place to start if things feel sluggish, maybe the revs are a bit funny.
Yeah, or the pedal just isn't sharp. But, and this is important, you're not seeing a check engine light. No fault codes.
Right. And you're saying this one works surprisingly often.
It really does. What's interesting is, modern cars rely so heavily on these electronic signals. Sometimes just rerunning the sequence can clear a minor glitch.
So the car's computer, the ECU, it learns how we drive.
Exactly. It learns parameters over time, maybe after a small battery issue, or even just lots of short trips where the engine doesn't get fully warm. It can learn an idle or throttle response that's just a bit off.
Okay. So this basic reset kind of clears those temporary, slightly wrong learned settings.
Precisely. It lets the ECU recalibrate the basics pretty easily.
It's almost like giving the car a gentle brain reboot with just the pedal. How do we actually do it?
Okay, so first, make sure the car's totally off. Key out.
Got it. Off.
Then put the key in, turn it to ON. That's where the dashboard lights up. But crucially, don't start the engine.
Right, just lights on.
Now here's the key part. Slowly and smoothly press the gas pedal all the way down. Take about, say, 4 seconds to get it to the floor.
Okay, slow and steady. 4 seconds down.
Once it's down, hold it right there for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
Hold for 3.
Then, just to slowly release it completely. Again, take about 4 seconds for the pedal to come all the way back up.
4 seconds release. Okay.
And you're going to do that whole sequence press, hold, release 2 more times. So 3 times in total.
3 full cycles. Press, hold, release.
You got it. After the 3rd time, turn the key straight to OF. Take it out, wait maybe 10 seconds.
10 seconds, okay.
Then start the car. And really pay attention. Does that pedal feel, smoother, quicker?
So that smooth, steady motion is really the secret sauce here, isn't it? For both pressing and releasing.
Absolutely. It's like you're showing the ECU very clearly, here's fully closed and here's fully open. Reestablishing those points after maybe a little electronic confusion.
Makes sense. Does this work on pretty much any car, or is it hit and miss?
It works on a lot of them, especially more modern ones. But, it's always smart to do a quick search online for your specific make and model, just in case.
Good tip.
Yeah.
Some might have a slightly different timing.
Yeah, or maybe it's a small variation in the sequence. A quick search can save you wondering if you did it right.
Great starting point. But okay, what if that doesn't fix it? What if the brain reboot needs to be a bit more system-wide?
Right. If the basic reset doesn't cut it, then we move to method 2. This one's a bit more, let's say, comprehensive. The battery disconnect reset. Okay. Disconnecting the battery. This sounds familiar. Particularly good for cars with electronic throttle control.
Yeah, which is, let's face it, most cars on the road today.
Yeah.
But, and I really have to stress this, safety first. Always.
Absolutely. What's the main thing here?
You must disconnect the negative terminal first. That's the black cable, usually marked with a minus sign. And when you reconnect, it's the last thing you connect.
Negative off first, negative on last.
Got it.
Why is that so critical?
It prevents accidental shorts. If you take the positive off first and your wrench touches the car body while you're working on the negative, sparks. Bad news.
Yikes. Okay. So negative off first, And be careful with tools.
Definitely. Don't let your wrench touch both terminals at once or bridge a terminal to the car frame. And honestly, wear gloves, wear safety glasses. It's electricity. Better safe than sorry.
Sound advice. I can imagine someone accidentally bridging the terminals.
It happens. And it's not pretty. That negative off first rule is simple, but it prevents a lot of trouble.
Okay, duly noted. So, assuming we're queued up safely, walk us through the steps. Right. Car parked safely, engine off, key out, pop the hood, find the battery, get the right wrench, loosen the nut on that negative terminal, the black one, lift the cable clamp off the post, tuck it safely out of the way so it can't touch any metal.
Okay. Negative cable disconnected and secured.
Now, you wait. Leave it disconnected for about 5, maybe 10 minutes.
What's happening during that wait?
That gives the ECU, the car's brain, time to fully discharge any stored energy and clear its temporary memory, like its short-term working memory.
Proper refresh.
Exactly. After 5-10 minutes, reconnect that negative cable, tighten the nut securely.
Okay, connected again.
Now, key in the ignition, turn it to on again, don't start the engine yet. You'll see the dashboard lights come on, maybe flicker a bit. That's the system's rebooting.
Let it do its thing, like a computer booting up.
Pretty much. The ECU is checking all the modules, sensors, making sure everything's talking correctly after the power cut. Then, start the engine.
Okay, engine running.
And here's another key part. Let it idle for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And don't touch the gas pedal during this time.
Just let it sit and idle. Why?
That allows the ECU to relearn the base idle parameters properly, how much air it needs to keep the engine running smoothly at rest.
Okay, idle relearn. 10 to 15 minutes.
Then turn the engine off, wait a few seconds, start it again, and now take it for a drive. See how that throttle feels.
So big picture view. This battery disconnect is like a deeper memory wipe for the ECU compared to the key-on method.
That's a good way to put it. It clears more of those learned values, things like fuel adjustments, idle settings, maybe even transmission shift points that have adapted over time, like hitting the reset button on the car's learned habits.
But it won't fix everything, right? Like if the sensor itself is broken.
Exactly. This clears the electronic cobwebs, so to speak. But if there's a physical hardware problem, a faulty sensor, damaged wiring, a mechanical issue in the throttle body disconnecting the battery isn't going to fix that underlying physical issue.
Makes sense. It cleans the slate, but doesn't repair broken tools. What might tell you it's more than just needing a reset. Any warning signs?
Yeah, definitely. If you've got a persistent check engine light, especially one that specifically points to the TPS codes like P0121 or P0221, things like that.
Okay, specific codes are a big clue.
Or if the car suddenly goes into limp mode where it drastically cuts power to protect itself, that's usually a sign of a more serious fault. Also, really intermittent random issues might point towards a wiring problem, which, again, a reset won't fix.
Good indicators. Which brings us nicely to method number 3, and you call this one the big one.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting. It's the advanced relearn procedure, sometimes just called the throttle body relearn.
Okay, advanced relearn. When would you jump to this?
This is typically for more stubborn TPS issues, maybe the first 2 resets didn't work, or, crucially, if you've recently cleaned the throttle body itself, or even replaced it, or if you're still getting those TPS-related fault codes.
Gotcha. But you mentioned caution.
Yes, absolutely. This is more involved. If you're not sure the TPS is the actual problem, or if you suspect something else is wrong, maybe don't leap straight into this.
Why is that?
Well, these sensors, often built right into the throttle body, they're quite delicate. If you're not comfortable poking around, or if you misinterpret something, you could potentially cause more harm than good. Sometimes it's better to let a pro diagnose it first.
Fair warning. Don't want to turn a small problem into a big one.
Exactly. Know your limits.
Okay, but if someone feels confident and wants to proceed, prerequisites.
Make sure your car battery is healthy. A weak battery can mess up electronic procedures, and importantly, make sure the engine is completely cool. You don't want to be working near a hot engine. Safety first.
Right. Cool engine, good battery. What are the steps for this relearn?
Okay, you start by disconnecting the negative battery cable again, but this time you only need to leave it off for about 2 minutes.
Just 2 minutes this time. Okay.
Yep, then reconnect it securely. Now key in, turn to OM. Again, no engine start.
Lights on, engine off, check.
Now, listen closely. You might need to be near the front of the car, near the engine. You should hear a faint buzzing, maybe some clicking sounds coming from the throttle body area.
Buzzing or clicking, what is that?
That's the electronic throttle plate actually moving. The motor inside the throttle body is sweeping the plate from fully closed to fully open and back again. It's physically recalibrating itself, learning its absolute endpoints.
Ah, so it's like it's testing its own range of motion. How long does that take?
Be patient. It can take anywhere from, say, 3 to 5 minutes, depends on the car. Just wait until the sound stops completely.
Okay, wait for the buzzing clicking to finish.
Once it's silent, the calibration is done. Turn the key fully off, remove it,
Key off and out.
then start the engine, and just like the battery disconnect method, let it idle. 10 to 15 minutes again. This is crucial for fine-tuning that calibration and setting the idle speed correctly based on the new physical limits it just learned. Don't skip this idle time.
Got it. Another 10-15 minute idle.
Then, take it for a short test drive. Check for smooth, predictable throttle response. Hopefully it feels much better.
Okay, technically speaking, what's the big difference here? What's this relearn doing that the others don't?
Good question. The first two methods are mostly about clearing learned software values, like adaptations. This advanced relearn actively forces the physical throttle motor to find its mechanical start points.
Ah, so it's resetting based on the actual hardware limit.
Exactly. It's telling the ECU, okay, this position is fully closed and this position is fully open physically. That's vital, especially if you've cleaned off carbon buildup or replaced the unit because those physical points might have shifted slightly.
It makes a lot more sense why it's needed after cleaning or replacement.
Right, but it raises an important point again. If the component itself is damaged, like a worn gear inside the throttle body, or a failing sensor element or bad wiring, this relearn might provide temporary improvement, but it can't fix the underlying physical fault. The problem will likely come back.
It's like trying to recalibrate a bent ruler. You can set the 0 point, but it's still bent.
Perfect analogy.
And speaking of cleaning, that seems like the logical next step, right? You've reset the brain, maybe even recalibrated the physical movement. Now you need to make sure the airway itself is clear.
Absolutely critical. A dirty throttle body, gunked up with carbon, can cause rough idling, poor acceleration, hesitation. Basically, it can mimic the very symptoms you were trying to fix with the reset, or just undo all your good work.
So keeping it clean is key to maintaining that sharp throttle response.
Yeah.
How often should you do that?
Generally, every 20,000 miles or so is a good rule of thumb. Or just check your owner's manual, see what the manufacturer recommends. It's straightforward preventative maintenance.
Pays off in the long run, I bet.
Definitely. Keeps the engine breathing efficiently. Now, about the cleaning itself.
Yeah.
This is super important.
Okay.
You have to use the right cleaner. I mean it. Never, ever use something aggressive like carburetor cleaner or brake cleaner, paint thinner, gasoline. None of that stuff.
Aren't they strong cleaners?
Way too strong. Modern throttle bodies have special coatings inside, often like a Teflon or molybdenum layer, to resist carbon buildup and keep the plate moving smoothly.
Okay.
Those harsh chemicals will strip that coating right off. Plus, they can damage the delicate electronic sensors that are often integrated right into the throttle body, and even harm plastic components or seals. You can turn a simple cleaning job into needing a whole new, expensive throttle body assembly.
Wow. Okay, so definitely avoid the harsh stuff. What should you use?
Look specifically for a product labeled throttle body cleaner or air intake cleaner. Something like CRC makes a good one. These are formulated to dissolve the carbon and gunk without damaging those special coatings or sensitive electronics. Use the right tool for the job.
That's a huge takeaway. Use the specific cleaner. Don't improvise with carb spray. Sounds like an easy mistake to make, but with costly consequences.
It really is. Saves a massive headache down the road.
Okay, so we've covered a lot here. The basic key-on reset, the more thorough battery disconnect, the advanced throttle body relearn, and now the crucial point about cleaning it properly. These are all things you could potentially try at home.
Yeah, and they often work. They can definitely save you a trip to the mechanic and some money.
But there's always a but, isn't there?
There is. It's just as important to know when to, well, throw in the towel on the DIY front. Meaning, if you've tried these resets, maybe even clean the throttle body correctly, and the problem still persists.
Or if it just seems way more complicated than a simple reset.
Exactly. Or honestly, if you just don't feel comfortable doing these procedures yourself, there is absolutely no shame in calling a professional mechanic.
Right. Better safe than sorry.
Totally. A good mechanic has diagnostic scan tools that go way beyond a basic code reader. They can look at live sensor data, check wiring integrity, pinpoint if it is the sensor or the wiring, or maybe a vacuum leak or something else entirely that mimics these symptoms.
things we just can't easily check in our driveway. What's a common scenario where you'd say, yep, definitely need a pro for this?
Well, like we mentioned, those persistent trouble codes. Or if your scan tool shows the TPS voltage is completely out of whack, like way too high or low constantly. Or if you can physically see damage, like scoring inside the throttle body bore or on the plate itself, that's replacement territory, not reset territory.
Makes sense. Some things just need expert eyes and tools.
In hands. Ultimately, it's about your safety and keeping your car running right. These DIY tips are great first steps, but knowing your limits is key.
Absolutely. So wrapping this up, the next time that gas pedal feels lazy or unresponsive, you've got a solid toolkit of DIY resets to try first.
From the simple key dance to the full relearn.
But it does make you think, doesn't it? How much we rely on these complex car brains to just adapt when sometimes all they need is a little informed nudge or reset.
Yeah, or just some basic maintenance, like keeping that throttle body clean with the right stuff. How much trouble could that simple step save us down the line?
It really underscores the value of understanding your car a bit better, empowering yourself with knowledge, knowing when you can confidently tackle something yourself.
And knowing just as confidently when it's time to hand the keys over to an expert.
Well said. Thanks for breaking all that down for us.
My pleasure. Hopefully it helps folks out there.
We certainly hope so. Thanks everyone for joining us on this deep dive into throttle response. Hopefully you picked up some useful insights.